Welcome to Eating Plebian Command Performance Edition. I just realized that we really needed to make something to eat and have absolutely no prior preparation or planning or anything. So it turns into what it is that we have in the pantry and in the fridge. This is something that should be totally normal to every home cook. And so therefore, I'm going to go ahead and make a Greek brunch skillet with cheese. And I think this is something that a lot of you can relate to, just finding out what it is that you've got and going with it for the most part. So let me get the ingredients list together for you. Alongside my heavy-duty, high-sided skillet over here that sees a lot of duty around here, I've got 3 large russet potatoes. You could use new potatoes, yellows, Yukon Golds, any waxy. I mean, really, this is just such an easy thing to sub in and sub out for. I've got half a cup of chopped scallions, and I'll be using these late in the process because I like something nice and green and fresh to be going there in the mix. I've got around 1 pound of cheese kielbasa. I believe that's beef as well, and that's going to work out for us in making it kind of really creamy and savory. I've got 1 lemon's worth of fresh lemon juice. I've got 3 tablespoons of your favorite Greek seasoning. I've got 1 tablespoon, plus a little bit more, I guess, of cracked rosemary, salt and pepper, cooking oil. I've got 4 eggs, 4 ounces of cherry tomatoes. I've split those in half, 1 onion, and about 3/4 cup of cheese. That's about 6 ounces. I'm going to get started with using about 2 to 3 tablespoons of oil inside the potatoes themselves instead of going directly into the skillet to start off with. And then I'm going to add my Greek seasoning and my rosemary, about 3/4 teaspoon, salt, that's about right, about a half teaspoon of black pepper, that should be good enough right there. And I'm going to give this a toss. So yeah, we are moving quickly today. As I said, unplanned, more my fault than anything. But I want to get these things covered before they hit the bottom of the skillet. And the reason for that is that if we try to herb these in first, the sides that get browned are unlikely to pick up most of the herbage and spicing that we've got going on here. So this is just a quick toss. I probably could have used a larger bowl, but whatever. So my big skillet here is running on medium. I've got my oven actually set for 375 degrees. And we are going to give these a quick head start on top of everything else. Now what I really want to do is to give these things just a nice browning on the outside. I'm not particularly worried about how cooked they are on the inside because we're going to be finishing this off in the oven. That's why I've got the oven turned on, if you haven't missed that. And I'm going to scrape continually. That's why I've also got my metal spatula here. I don't want anything to burn. Get underneath there, yes. And once we've settled just for about 5 to 7 minutes, I think, then we can deal with adding to this and kind of composing the skillet to go into finish. After about 5 minutes and stirring and scraping fairly frequently, boy, this is something you can't do in I don't know, a Teflon or a nonstick. It's one of the reasons I really like my my stainless steel here, and also it'll last until I'm dust. But anyways, you'll note that some of these are actually starting to get nice and golden on the outside. They're not completely done yet. Um, if I take my fork, this is how I usually do it. Kind of plunge them in. It goes in most of the way, which tells me that they're starting to cook, but they're not, you know, that one's good. I think that one was on the heat the longest probably. But this kind of halfway, 2/3 is where I want to be, because now I want to put in my sausage. Now this sausage is, show you here, cheese sausage. It's what I had, and I like the stuff. So, you know, I'm going to put this in here, and I also just want to give it a little bit of a flame up. So that's another reason why I'm staging things to go in at points where everything will be done at the same time. I want that one on the ground. There we go. That one's sticking up a bit. Make some room here. And also, if you cook these too long, remember, I mean, a lot of sausage, especially of the smoked variety here in the United States, is ready to eat, and you just want to either sear or warm it up. So I don't have to worry about safe eating temperatures, at least for this component. And so we're going to give these a few minutes, but there's something else I can do. I can also add my lemon juice, as I said. And just before we go into the oven, and that'll happen as soon as I'm convinced that this sausage is where it needs to be, with just a little bit of sear on the outside. Then we're going to go for the cherry tomatoes and an onion. Now, this onion right here, I'm going to chop it into quarters. That's it. And the reason for that is because of preferences within this house. They don't like onions cooked in, or at least intermingled with, potatoes. I don't know why. It's just, this is what it is. You know, when you got family, you're always cooking for somebody else. And that's what food is. Food is love, isn't it? And so I've got those chopped into quarters here, and I'll be adding those on the periphery, and just not mixed in. And I can pick those out. This is starting to look good. And, oh, and the other thing, if I didn't mention it, with this sausage here, if you cook it too long, all the cheese comes out. So, you know, just be aware of what it is that you're cooking. That's all. I'm thinking that's about where we want to be. So, I'm going to add in these tomatoes. I'm not going to bother them too much here in the skillet for the sauteing portion, or the pan frying portion, because I want them intact. They'll bust a little bit, but that's one of the reasons I cut them in half. Ah, that looks nice. And now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this in the oven for approximately 15 minutes. I will be checking on it every 5 minutes, because we've got a slightly uneven bake time due to the potatoes and how long any individual piece was sitting on the bottom. You get the idea. So check back with me in just a minute. I'm on my first 5-minute check. I'm just going to go ahead and pull this out. Now, remember, the whole skillet, including the handle, has been in the oven, and it is quite exceptionally hot. So I'm going to set that there. This will be going back in momentarily. And oh yeah, we're starting to get there. So I don't think we're going to have to go beyond the 15 minutes. Assuming I can get this back into the oven so it doesn't lose too much heat, I'm going to just move these around a little bit. And now, at this 5-minute point, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put in my onion quarters. And I'm just going to stick these in and around. Maybe get them a little bit of oil from the bottom of the pan. At least on one side. There we go. Get in. There we are. All right, and it's going back in for another 5 to 10 minutes. I have burned my hands so many times reaching in for skillet finishing. It's not even funny. But anyhow, all right, another time travel. Our 15 minutes is nearly done. So I am going to go ahead and put on my oven mitt again, and we're going to check on these things. And let's see what we've got. Oh yeah, these are all done. They're nice and golden. Perfect. All right. So I'm now going to add in my scallions. I'm going to reserve a few more for the top, the cheese that I'm about to throw in. Get in there. Great. Now the other scallions, there we go. And I'm going to put this back in the oven one more time just for the cheese to melt. In the meantime, I'm going to go and heat up my skillet. Oh, I've got cheese all over the place. Have to clean that out. Anyway, I also pulled out a little bit of butter. I didn't talk about this with the ingredients section. This is just simply to do the eggs. And so we're going to give this just a minute. I could actually put the eggs or the butter in. I'm going to give it about a tablespoon and a half, I guess. Or more. That's what was left in the package. And this and one other smaller one are the only Teflon or nonstick pans that I have in the house. I use these exclusively for eggs, omelets, and crepes. I don't want them to get used or abused because I don't want to have to end up replacing these silly things every year. But for at least that application, for eggs and very delicate stuff, yeah, it does have a use. But typically, I just don't really trust Teflon and the other stuff. Even the HexClad. It turns out that there were, I believe, if I remember correctly, that there was a lawsuit filed stating that their claim of no forever chemicals was either not truthful or misleading or something. I don't know how that case turned out. Is it possible that their claims are justified? I don't know, but with all the microplastics and everything else that we have to worry about in our food supply, it's just kind of a you've got to watch on all fronts these days, don't you? All right, I'm starting to fizz a little bit, which means that I'm just starting to get the butter to release any water that is on the inside. And that's what this is that's actually steam coming up from the water starting to evaporate. It's doing it slowly this time. There we are. But I just want to get my eggs in. I don't know how you like your eggs. I do mine in between that little zone between sunny side up and over medium. It also kind of depends on who's making them. I just detest running whites. And if you have like a restaurant or something like that making them and you say over easy, very often you still end up with that runny stuff, and it just doesn't please me. But I do like my yolks runny. So light dusting, salt and pepper. Not a whole lot. And by the time these eggs are done, the skillet will be ready to come out. Get these separated off. I'm starting to see the white starting to solidify on the top side as well. That tells me that I'm starting to get heat into my yolks, and it's about time to start flipping. So I'm going to start off with this one. Who here has an absolute horrible freaking time of getting their eggs flipped over without busting them? I always have. Get over there. There's always one in the bunch. Anyways. Okay, so at least these first two are about ready. You know, I'm just going to go ahead and just drop them in. Over onto my waiting plate, turn the heat off. I'm going to set this to the side. And let's go in and examine our cheese. That is festive. Okay, so it does look like I busted one of them every time. That's all right. So I'm going to lay some of these here strategically around. And now what we have is our Greek brunch skillet with cheese. You could add even more eggs if you wanted to, but anyways, we have the dish. Let's get plated. I'm going to end up needing this on the other hand because I'm right-handed. That's all right. Just going to get in underneath. Get these. I want some onion on mine. This dish is so flexible. If you had mushrooms that you wanted to put in there, if you wanted to have, shoot, almost anything you can think of. The flexibility with doing skillets like this is almost unmatched when it comes to, you know, taking care of what it is that you've got inside your fridge or your pantry at the time. And, you know, extending that dollar is worth a whole lot these days. So here we are, our completed dish. It's the Greek skillet with cheese, or whatever you want to call it. I just made it up. But anyhow, thanks for joining us here at Eating Plebian. And if you will do me a favor and hit the like and subscribe buttons, it does me an immense amount of good. This is still a new channel, and I'm trying to get this out to everyone who really just needs to be able to get through this economy because it's going crazy. Anyhow, have a good one. I'll see you next time.